What is up, guys? This is Zach back again with yet another mod for your GR86. I like these tail lights, but with the new Noble F1 brake light that I have installed, I do like these better. So what I did is I got something that is very similar to factory, but we are going to replace these with something that is fully smoked. That way it ties in nicely with our little trunk bar that we have and the tail light. It's just gonna give us a much cleaner look all the way around from the back end of the car and kind of go for that styling that I'm looking for. So let's go ahead, we're gonna open up this box and I will show you guys what we have inside. So I did already cut this open earlier, just kind of making sure everything was in here and that we were good. So, you got a piece of foam. You're going to get your instructions. You're going to have European harnesses, a reverse light connector. We're going to have our tail lights. We're going to have our right tail light. It already has all the plugs in the back. Everything should be ready to go for us to just swap it out. Plug up the new one. And we have our left tail light. So this film is kind of off, so you can kind of get a peek at that, how dark this is compared to the factory one. So it's going to be much darker, but again, retaining that similar factory look. We're going to have a couple new features with this that I'm excited to try out and see what I like. And I'm going to show you how to install your aftermarket tail lights. Alright guys, so if you remember from the last video, this is going to be super simple and very straightforward. We're going to go ahead and pop off this plastic piece, this plastic piece. You're going to get your 10mm socket and go ahead and take off your 3 screws. You're going to have 2 underneath here, 1 up on the top. Same thing on this side, 2 here, 1 up top. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and pull the tail light out. And then we will start working on installing our new smoked, almost OEM tail lights. So let's get started. There's that plastic piece. There is that plastic piece. Go ahead and loosen this guy up. Alright, so now that we have our 3 screws off, like I said, we're just going to pull this guy straight on out. Just kind of give it some pressure on the back and on the sides. You want to be very careful not to scratch your paint when you're doing this. So just like so. And I have a lot of extra wires that you guys are not going to have to worry about because I already changed out the 4th brake light. Now come over to this side, we're going to do the exact same thing. All we're going to do is pull straight out. And be very careful not to scratch the paint. The first time you take these out, it is a little tough, but after you do it the first time, they do come out a little bit easier. So just keep that in mind if this is your first time to take your tail lights out. Alright, so as you can see, I've now got both tail lights out. We're going to go ahead and hop over to the new tail lights. Get everything out, get it hooked up, make sure everything's working as we want. And I'm going to test out a couple of things because I do have a different color on the side that I can do. So I'm going to look at that, see what I like, don't like, make sure the sequential turn and all that good stuff is working as it should. And then once we get that done, we'll go ahead and show you guys how to put everything back in. Okay, so now we got the new tail lights. So we're going to go ahead and plug this guy up. To start, I'm going to connect one of the cables that I already know needs to be plugged up because I want to see what the white side marker light looks like. We're going to go ahead and plug up our main harness into here. And I'm just going to hold this up. Show you guys what it would look like. So we went ahead and connected this switch right here, which this switch is just for the side marker light. We can get an option of white or red. White is when you connect it, Red is when you don't connect it. You're gonna go ahead and plug up your main harness. Into your main harness, you may not have all these cables like I do because I have the Noble 4th brake light. But I'm gonna go ahead and sit it here for a second. We're gonna unlock the car, let you see the startup sequence and what this side light looks like. And there you have it, guys. This is the new almost OEM tail light that I've decided to go with. This is what it looks like with the Noble brake light. And this is the white side marker light. I don't know if I want to go with the white. Like, there is a part of me that likes it. I think it would be clean to have the whole side of the car white with the lights. But let's just take a look at what the red would look like. So I've now disconnected the wire that is on this side, and when we go ahead and unlock it, this is what it would look like if we had this side marker light as red. But now that we've got all this set up, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the Noble brake light, kind of undo some of this work we did the other day, because we're gonna connect the reverse light down to here. And then once I get that kind of set up and figured out how it works, I will go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. I think it's super cool. The tail light should actually turn into a reverse light as well. So yeah, I just think that's a really cool feature. But also, guys, leave a comment below on if you would go with the white side marker or the red. I kind of think the white is neat. Like I said, have a clean all white look down the side. But also, you wouldn't look like everybody else on the road. You'd have the red, and then you'd have the nice little white light as people pass you. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna go with yet. But we're gonna go ahead and jump down here, get this stuff going, and hopefully by the end of this video, we've come up with a color and decided what we're gonna do. All right, so now we're gonna disconnect the 4th brake light. There we go. All right. So after you take your 3 push pins out and pull your plastic piece off, you're gonna need your 10mm wrench to take off your bolts on each side of your 4th brake light. And then after you take those out, all you're gonna do is you pull your light out. And we're gonna get to our plug and just unplug this guy. We have to figure out how to get this cable down to the bottom. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of wired this up, not the proper way. I just kind of did this so that we could see what the wiring looks like, and kind of if we even want to do this, we're going to just see what the brake light looks like itself when we do put it in reverse. And from there, see what we think. If we like it, we're going to figure out how to run these wires through the bumpers and to get the other end of this over to this tail light so that both of them do it, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But hey, who doesn't love a challenge, right? So I'm going to go hop in the car. We're going to see what this looks like, and we're going to go from there. So there we have it. That is what the reverse light looks like when you do connect this wiring harness. I actually really dig it. I think it is very cool when this whole thing turns white, especially when both are in there. I think that's just gonna give it a really nice touch. Something very unique to this car, and not many other cars, if any, actually do that. So yeah, we're gonna roll with that and start working on getting all these wires through the bumpers. I gotta drop one down through here, and then the fun one is gonna be figuring out how to get this guy through here and out and up and over through here. So that is the next part of our project. I do have the driver side tail light in. I've got these wires ran down here for the 4th brake light, that way we can have the reverse. And this is the other piece that needs to be ran over here to connect, so both lights will do the reverse. I do have my shoestring down here, which is what I'm using to tie things off to pull them through the car. So now I gotta route this through the bumper. and we're gonna pull this up. Okay, so now that we've got both tail lights back in the car, we're gonna go ahead and undo this fourth brake light once again. And we're gonna connect the cabling to make the reverse lights on the tail lights work and reconnect our fourth brake light. Now that I have the fourth brake light connected again, we're gonna go ahead and check out the tail lights, see how they look with the reverse lights set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the car and give you guys a preview. That concludes the tail light install. As you can see, now the whole back end is nice, dark, smoked out. So it just gives it a much cleaner look and appearance in my opinion. I do think the clear tail lights look really good as well for the people that do have those. But for my personal taste and for this color, specifically, I wanted to go with a dark theme, especially since we have this black bar right here, because I have been debating on replacing this with the Alpha Rex, or there is another one where I forget the brand, but it removes this trunk button, but it makes it a solid bar all the way across. So I was kind of debating that, and that's what made me ultimately want to go with the dark rather than the clears. And then we will be covering this up eventually because that does look a little bit dorky, being the only thing red on the car at the moment. But that will be squared away very, very soon. Leave a comment down below on if you would go with the white side marker or the red side marker for your tail lights, if you went with these. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.